I just finished this tower, but right now it doesn't really defend anything. The whole area behind it is still empty, and that's what I want to change. Today, the castle continues to expand behind the tower and we prepare the first bigger area of the castle courtyard. I'm Jaspar from CastleStube. Let's build the next module. This time I actually prepared a lot more. I got hundreds of dark bluish grey parts for the terrain. Since this isn't my first section of rocky terrain, I'm slowly getting better at choosing the right parts. For example, I've learned that these 2x2 corner bricks and corner plates are actually perfect for stabilizing the whole structure. Because with all that angles and edges, they just fit in way better than most other pieces. I also picked up some larger dark bluish grey parts. I'll show you what I'm going to do with them in a bit. But these 1x6x5 panels are going to speed things up a lot. I hope. But first I'm going to start with the base using these black parts. We use 6x8 plates as a ground layer and connect them with a layer of 1x6 Technic bricks and 1x8 bricks to build the foundation of the module. The remaining gaps are filled with other black bricks. As usual, I'm filling the inside of these layers with random filler bricks in all kind of colors. My stock of those has actually gone down quite a bit, to a point where I'm actually starting to order them. I've also been thinking about putting my modules on 48x48 grey base plates. But right now I don't really feel like they add enough value for their price. With the base in place, I can start shaping the landscape. And once this sits next to the tower module, you can see that most of this area will actually be built up with rock, leaving just a small strip of green in the front. And I'll be using a lot of those dark bluish grey parts. By the way, do you see all those tiny bricks I used for the outer wall of the tower module? With these larger panels, I won't need nearly as many small pieces this time. As there aren't too many new techniques in this part of the build, I want to take a moment to talk about the bigger plan. Right now, my biggest problem is actually space. I just don't have enough room on my desk to properly place and show the entire build. So instead of expanding sideways, I'm planning to continue building behind the current modules. And that actually opens up something interesting. Because it finally gives me space to start building inside the castle courtyard. This module already creates room for a first building in that area, but I'm not quite sure what to put there yet. Of course I have a few ideas, like a blacksmith, a bakery, maybe some storage or stables, but I don't really know what should go where or what to build first. So I'd be really curious to hear your ideas. What kind of building do you think should I do first? I think this might actually be the first base plate without any tunnels or caves underneath. So this time I can pretty much build the internal structure however I want. I tried to just build up 2x2 supports and use longer plates for horizontal bracing to hold everything together. Just to get everything up to the right height without using too many parts. Right now it still looks a bit messy since I'm just using whatever filler bricks I have left. But I'll probably try to figure out a more efficient system at some point. I've heard that door frames can actually work really well for this, but I haven't tested it for myself. Can I just point out how much time and parts I'm saving by using these larger panels for the outer walls? I absolutely love this. I only need around 12 of them per side for the current height, with a few additional pieces to keep everything stable. And whatever happened to this piece, I swear it wasn't me. While editing and seeing the progress, I keep thinking about all kind of random things, like how many parts I'm actually using on average in these updates. So I might try adding a part counter to one of the future videos, just for the fun. While building the tower roof in the last video, there was a lot of try and error. trying different angles, different techniques and figuring out what actually works. But building these internal structures and the landscapes is a lot more straightforward. You basically just build it up step by step, figuring things out as you go. There are not too many things that can go wrong, which is actually pretty relaxing for a change. With most of the internal structure in place, I can focus on the rocky facade again. I want the terrain to be highest around the base of the tower and then gradually slope down towards the right. In the end, I want it to look as natural as possible with different heights and depths and an uneven rocky edge. I also considered adding a small open cave into this mountain facade, but honestly I don't think it really fits having a cave underneath the castle walls that you can just access from the outside. Building these rocks actually isn't as straightforward as it might look. There are quite a few things to keep in mind, like choosing the right parts and where to use them, trying to avoid repeating patterns and decide how detailed you want to go, because the more detail, the more parts you end up using. You also have to know when to switch to slopes, otherwise you just keep building higher. And then there's the big question, how many slopes do you actually need? Because in the end almost every stud you cover turns into at least one slope. For a section like this, that easily adds up to over 300 slopes. I really like using these 2x2 corner wedge slopes together with the 1x1 quarter round tiles. They just help to vary those 90-degree angles and make everything feel a bit more natural. And I definitely want to push this further in the future with more different wedge bricks and slopes. There are still so many different techniques to discover. Now that about 70% of the landscape and the internal structure is done, and I have finally some more dark tan plates again in all different sizes, I can start focusing on something else. I want to continue with the walls as initially planned with another angled section, and finally bring everything back to the 90-degree Lego grid at the end of this wall section. And with these angled walls we are running into a very familiar problem again, trial and error, because you probably already know it, non-90-degree angles and Lego just never line up perfectly, so it's really about getting it as close as possible. So let's get into some trial and error. I want to use these wedge plates to hold the wall section in place, and at first it actually looks like a perfect fit, but the moment you look a bit closer, right where it connects to the existing wall, there's a tiny gap, and that's just from being off by maybe 1 or 2 degrees. So I basically have two options here, either skip the wedge plates completely or just accept the small gap. And honestly I think I'm going to accept it, because that angle really works well here. Now I need to add some tiles where the wall section is going to sit. But then Chaos Me kicked in and I started fine-tuning a small section next to the tower on the old module. Luckily this turns into a perfect transition to the next challenge, connecting the walls to the existing structure. And because we're working with angles again, it's back to trial and error. Just trying things out until it fits reasonably well and the gap is small enough to ignore. And just when I thought this would fit perfectly, yeah, it doesn't. The 9 studs are just slightly too wide, so there's no way to fit it between the wedge plates on both sides, meaning I can only use them on one side. While I continue refining the platform on top of the rocky terrain, I want to give you a better overview of the plan for this module. As mentioned before, we'll continue with the wall sections. And for the first time since the gatehouse, this wall will actually include a door, right here, from which you'll be able to enter the corridor inside the walls right next to the tower. In front of this door I want to place a building directly connected to the walls. So it probably makes sense to turn this into a more military focused structure, maybe something like a barracks with a small training area in front. The soldiers could spread out quickly through the door into the wall corridors to anywhere in the castle if needed. While I was explaining all of that, I kind of skipped over something important. this connection here, using snot technique to join the new wall with the existing one, and I'm really happy with how clean this turned out. I'm building this section of the wall 2 studs wider than the previous ones, so 6 instead of 4. And the idea behind that is pretty simple. This will likely be a high frequency corridor, and I want to make sure that people can pass each other easily. And I also really like adding these tiles to the floor, it just looks so much better. What do you think? With the general layout of the castle more or less locked in, I somehow lost control again and went back to working on the mountainside. At this point it kind of feels like the module decides on its own how it wants to grow. Besides the usual 2x1 45-degree slopes and the small 33-degree cheese slopes, I've mostly run out of the steeper ones, like the 65 and 75-degree slopes, which definitely reduces the variation a bit. So yeah, I'll need to order more of them. But I guess running out of parts is just a problem that never really goes away. I'm finishing this episode by testing some new vegetation right beneath the tower. Trying to create a bit of a fern-like look and mixing in some, I think, medium lavender blossoms. And that's it for this episode. This one was more about laying the groundwork for a lot of cool things to come. Next time we'll continue with the wall section and start the first building inside the courtyard. Maybe even a barracks. Thanks for watching, and until next time the castle keeps growing brick by brick.